So we have our class defined. Its name is character. Notice that the first letter is capitalized. Names of classes are always capitalized. Now that we have our class defined, we can go to the driver. Right? And how do we create our driver? You're going to go to BlueJ, click on new class, call it driver, and hit OK. Okay. Character is where the class is defined. Driver is where we're going to create objects of type character to be used in a program. Okay. So we're over here in our driver. Go ahead and clean up the code to make it look just like this. And we're going to create an object of type character here. Now, how do we create an object of type character? Well, it follows the same format as creating a regular variable. Let's say num is equal to 5. Right? What's the general format here? It's the type of data that can be stored in the variable. The name of the variable is equal to value. Right? The type of data is int. Integers can be stored in this variable whose name is num. We're saying it's equal to the value of 5. So the equal sign is taking the 5 and placing it into the variable num. All right. Now, what about if we want to create a variable that can store objects of type character? Right? Well, what's the type going to be? It's going to be capital character. The name is going to be hero is equal to the value. Now, how do we create objects of type character? New character, 2 parentheses. Okay. Let me go ahead and erase this here. Character is a type of data that can be stored in this variable. The name of the variable is hero. And the right side of the equal sign, we are creating an object of type character. Exactly what's happening is the right side of the equal sign is a method call to the class character to run the 0 argument constructor. Notice there's no parameters, 0 parameters. Over here there are 0 arguments. Right? So that's what's happening. Right here, it's going to go over to the character class. It's going to create these instance variables or object variables, name, energy, and attack. It's going to run the 0 argument constructor, creating a default object or an object whose instance variables are set to default values. Right? Name is set to empty string, energy is equal to 0, attack is equal to 0. Default values, strings are set to empty string and numerical values are set to 0. Right. What's happening here at the end is it's returning the object that was created. Okay. Now, where does it return the object that was created? Where does it return this set of variables that were created? It returns back to where this method was called. And where was it called? It was called back over here in the driver, right here on the right side of the equal sign. Not only that, it comes back here, but it also replaces the function call or the method call with the return value. And what's the return value? It's the object that was created. It returns the object right back to the driver here. Then the equal sign kicks in, and the object that was created is saved in this variable called hero. Okay, so that's what's happening there. Now hero is now our object. Hero is now our set of variables. How can we check if it actually works? Well, that brings us to the toString. The toString method returns a string that is labeled and has the values of the instance variables of the object, namely name, energy, and attack. Okay. So how do we run the toString so that we could check if the object was created properly? Well, it's really simple. You go like this, system.out.println, and you put the variable in the parentheses. This here is going to automatically run this object's toString. So it's going to jump over to character class. It's going to run this toString method, which returns this string. Right? Where does it return the string to? Right back to the driver in the parentheses. So it prints it out. Let's go ahead and see if this actually works. Oh, I gotta erase these return object there because that happens, but we don't have to state it. So let's go ahead and hit OK, run. We're coming over here, and you can see that it prints out name, empty string, energy is 0, and attack is 0. What does that mean? It means that the object that we created that's stored in the hero variable contains a variable, instance variable name set to empty string, energy set to 100, and attack set to 7. Right? I'm sorry, attack set to 0. And so we've successfully created an object using the 0 argument constructor. In the next video, I'll show you how to do this using the argument constructor.